Hi everyone, this is Trina. Today I'm going to make a little birdie card. So what I'm going to use is new product. Seize the Day Card Making Workshop has this cute little whale here, and then it comes with the thin cuts that match. And so I'm going to turn these into little birds instead of whales. I've got just one of our value white daisy base cards. And so when you fold that, it's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 will be our finished size of our card. The Julep mat that I've cut down, and that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that's going to mat on there like that, and that is 3 3/4 by 5. So we have in our catalogue stencil sheet packets, and I love these things. I've been making myself all sorts of stencils lately on my Cricut, and so I've made this cloud stencil. Now there's different ways that you can blend. You can use the sponges, you can use daubers. I also have these ink blending tools that I've used over the years, which I find are really handy. And then lately I saw some tutorials where they use makeup blending brushes, and so I thought, well, I'll just try them and see how it goes, and I really like how they're working. It gives a really nice, soft, gentle blend, and sometimes it doesn't even look like it's putting any ink onto your cardstock because it's so soft, but then when you move it away, it gives you a really good image. I like to turn them, so that I don't have all my clouds looking exactly the same. And I don't want my background to be too overpowering because I want my little birdies to really be the focus on here. So what I'm going to do with this little bird is the original is the whale, and you've got the fins coming down here. And so this is going to be a very super simple bird. I'm just going to draw a couple of lines and a little eye to make my bird, and then I'm going to need a beak. And so I'm going to draw the beak onto the background when I have my bird where I think I want it to go. Our tri-blend markers, this is the True Blue, and if it's on the light side of the Carolina like this one is, I like to use the light one and just put a little bit of detailing in here, so almost like little feathers. And then I can get a little bit darker. So maybe this one can be pale blue, the light side of the Carolina. I'll maybe blend this out a little bit. So I don't want a whole lot of shadowing, but a little bit on here would be nice. I want my birdie to be sitting on a branch. So, because I'm going to have two little birds, kind of, one is greeting the other one. So from here, I want to just quickly draw a little bit of a branch, maybe like this, and my other one is going to sit up here, kind of. And that'll just have a small branch. The reason why I'm doing that is in this set you see that there's a little heart, thin cut, and so I've cut a whole lot of little julep hearts. This is the scrap that I cut them out of, and so I just layered them on my big shot. So I cut some on the light side, and then others I turned it over so I'd get some dark and light leaves, just different variations in shading. And then I'm getting the earth brown blend marker, and I'm going to just draw a couple of little branches. Just so that I've got something to sit my birds on and attach my leaves. And so you can do little bits of shading on there if you want, just to add some shadows. If you want to. But you just play with it and get it to a point that you like, and then I'll go back with the lighter one, which is what I use, and blend it in so it's not as prominent. I am going to use this first little birdie, and I want it about there, so I want to it's just like drawing a couple of little triangles so that it's going to say hello. And then this here, I'm going to use the same little whale, but I want to trim it a little bit. I'm going to trim off the tail and trim around there, so I've got a little speech bubble. So just going to take my scissors and just trim that off, cut round there. so round it off better, so that this birdie can be saying hi to its little friend. So this one I'm going to have the beak kind of open because it's the one speaking, and this one maybe it can be just closed, you know, just a little sort of triangle-y beak. Okay, so for that I'm just going to colour in the eye. Maybe just do little lines here. Sorry, I hope you can see around my fingers. And I'm going to draw in the beak. Now, I'm going to pop that up on foam dots, so I'll draw the beak in further so I know that it's going to disappear behind the body. So hopefully that will work all right. And that way I can decide how big I want his beak to be. I want it to be about there. And so this one, I'm going to do that triangle and maybe bring it back a bit like this so that it will disappear behind that body. So I'm going to put, just take some a foam square out of my shaker window foam pieces here, and just stick those on the back. You can use your favorite adhesive. I love using this. So I'm just going to turn it over, and I just usually try and run a thin bead around the edge, not too close to the edge, because when I squish it down I don't want it going all over my background. But I find that this gives me a little bit of glide room so that I can line it up. Because it doesn't grab straight on, I can sort of move my mat around till I get it where I want it, and then it will stick nice and strong. And so I'm going to do the same thing here with my prepared background, and then line it up. Yep, that's looking good. Press it down. Okay, cool, that's better. Now, this one, I'm going to put my little bird here, sitting on the branch, and then I'm going to take my other bird, peel that liner off. Sorry, my nails are really short. And line it up. Yep, I want that little, his wing kind of hanging over the branch. So it looks like he's actually sitting and weighted on the branch. I don't want to draw little feet, but if you have the wings there, you don't need the feet because it's like tucked underneath his body. Okay, so this is going to be my speech bubble going there. So I'm going to do some stamping on that. I've got an old piercing mat, which when I'm doing little bits of stamping, I find it really handy just to bring this in. And it just gives me that cushioning. Now you can always use the foam sheet that comes with our stamp sets. That's great as well. I personally just like to use my mat because it's a bit higher and thicker, and I know I've got really good cushioning. And so this Simply Said alphabet from the Stories by Stacey. I've taken the H and the I and just mounted them on a block. I'm going to take my black ink pad and just stamp a simple greeting of hi. Just straight down, straight up. And I'm thinking what I might actually do before I stick that on, just to give a little bit of definition to my speech bubble, I might just do some little stitch marks. I used to love putting stitch marks on everything. Quite often I'll just do basic outlines on my layouts and cards, but I think this one I might just do little tiny stitch lines, just so it kind of, we don't lose the shape of the bubble, because we have such a light background. Okay, I'm going to get another foam dot. I love putting foam dots on my elements for my cards because they will cast a shadow. I just think it gives a really nice finish. So I'm just going to line that up there. And then my last thing is to put some of my little leaves on. So some of my leaves I'm going to just stick straight onto the back of the card. Okay, and we don't want to put too much on. Maybe that's a bit much because I don't want it to squish everywhere. And so I'm just going to put them on the ends of my branches. Still got some glue there, so that's probably enough to hold this one on. Oh, sticking to my fingers. Okay, so I want to use, I'll see if I can get this to work, some of our 3D foam dots, the little wee ones. I mean, you can get these and cut them up with your microchip scissors. I love the thickness of these ones, they're really awesome. But because this is nice and small, I think these round foam dots should fit on there quite well. Just to lift some of them, I'm not going to do it to all of them, but I like to have a little bit of variation, so it's kind of sitting above one of the other leaves. Let's see, I'll just try to add a couple more. And then, yeah, this is our card almost completed. So I like the colours of that. I think it's nice and simple. Just a cute way of using those whale thin cuts. Then, you know, not as whales, little birdies. And I really like the speech bubble idea. I think I'm going to use that a lot on my upcoming projects. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you for staying and watching.